Hello everyone, it's the Wizard Dude. It's 1 week away from my birthday of October 5th. Today I will be reviewing Shrek 2, which is another one of my favorite DreamWorks movies and one of the best ones they have to offer. You guys know Shrek. I was inspired to make my own Shrek movie review after watching Caitlin Sparkles, which, thanks for the inspiration, by the way. So, yep, Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey are back in this one after Shrek and Fiona married in the last one. They're still awesome. Shrek is maybe green, but it is easy being green to him. Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, and Eddie Murphy are back. And it even got a game on the PS2, which I might review another time. For now, let's talk about the movie. It opens up with Prince Charming narrating how Fiona was put on a curse and the fairy godmother had her wait in the tower to wait his kiss. This movie, I'm not looking at Prince Charming the same way ever again. And neither would you if you watched it. Because he is really like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Both guys are so full of themselves, all they can see is themselves. And they only care about getting the girl and will stop at nothing to beat their one they love. But when Charming goes into the tower, the big bad wolf is there, telling her that Fiona's already married and is on her honeymoon with Shrek, which that scene was both funny and heartwarming at the same time. Although a certain character will be in that scene will be in the video game. I'm not spoiling which, but she's not going to be afraid of Shrek and Fiona in that game. So when the two of them came back to the swamp, they found out that Donkey did all their chores and was watching the house. Not with Dragon somehow, who's all moody and stuff. I think it's because she was pregnant at the time. But anyway, they soon get an invitation to go to far, far away to meet Fiona's parents, Harold and Lillian, who, I should tell you right now, Harold is the Frog Prince, and Lillian, the princess in that story. So they drive off on the carriage to far, far away, literally. To which, the funny scene where Donkey keeps asking, "Are we there yet?" I laughed pretty hard at some points there, especially "Are we there yet? Hey, that's not funny. Hey, that's really immature. See, this is why no one likes ogres. Okay, your loss. I'm just gonna stop talking. Finally!" To entertain himself, Donkey made popping noises, which annoyed Shrek, but they finally made it far, far away. And Shrek was pretty nervous to meet his in-laws, who gave him the praise and that kind of stuff given to famous people like celebrities. Or maybe not. Harold made it vividly clear that he didn't like his fat, disgusting, green son-in-law. Probably because it reminded him of who he really is. And Shrek made it clear that he loved Fiona, and no Papa's old king was going to make him change his mind. Long story short, they sniped at each other during dinner, which was another funny scene because of how much argument they did. And it culminates in them tossing the pig up, and it ends with Donkey going, "Donkey!" Fiona and Lillian were able to break up the fight as Fiona ran to her room. She began to cry about that, and it summoned the fairy godmother, who's the villain here. The song was pretty neat, and she was convincing Fiona that she could become beautiful again. She says, "All you need to do is marry my son Prince Charming like you were supposed to." But Fiona wasn't going to have that. Why? Because 2 words, Shrek, whom he didn't want to be there anymore. And Fiona even told him he was acting like an ogre. He is one. So what's that nasty woman fairy godmother do? She goes to threaten Harold, and even ruins her diet because of that. So he decides to do what was best, not only for his daughter, but for his kingdom. Going to the Poison Apple to hire Puss in Boots, the ogre killer, who he is one of the best characters in this franchise, Puss is. Antonio Banderas does an awesome job voicing him. Him, you know, and so Shrek then decides to get a good night's sleep, but his evening takes a turn for the worse when he comes across Fiona's childhood diary, which describes a prince with washboard abs, a chiseled chin, impeccable hygiene, in short, the anti-Shrek. Eck. He was devastated by this and decided he was tired of being ugly and green. Harold then, tempers had cooled and Harold sent Shrek on the hunt the next day. But not all was as seems. Donkey apparently smelled a rat right away, so we tagged along to be on the safe side. They soon get lost in the forest, passing 5 times a bush that looks like Shirley Bassey before they meet up with Puss in Boots. He tries to kill Shrek, and Donkey tries to finish Puss off, but hits Shrek instead with a, "Did I miss?" "Nope, you got him!" But soon, Shrek finds out that Harold did send Puss, and he decides to come with them to take them to Fairy Godmother. When they learn of it through the card, where Donkey has to think of the saddest thing that's ever happened to him, which, that was hilarious what he thought of. Now, her factory is known for 2 things. Its pre-war colonial charm and the impossibility to get in without an appointment. They didn't have an appointment, but they did get past Jerome, the receptionist, to get to Fairy Godmother. Shrek decided to prove why he needed to be handsome and get a happily ever after with Fiona. He showed her gadgets and gadgets, a graph, a pie chart, and a pie to go with it, a cabillions of widgets. He even showed her a couple of midgets. But she still said ogres don't live happily ever after, telling her, "No, and now, ogre, you must go." So Shrek, Donkey, and Puss decided to sneak into the potion room dressed as an elf, and a really big elf. And he was looking for a handsome potion, but Puss instead took happily ever after. Shrek even said it. "It'll do, we got company," because Jerome apparently found them. And when they get the potion, the alarms go off, and they run out while the pink potion falls on the elves and stuff, which makes FGM furious, and charming too, somehow. But she finds out that Shrek stole the potion, thinking, we can make this work to our advantage. No one knew what the potion would do outside. After Donkey did a taste test, Shrek chugged the potion, hoping it contained happily ever after for him and Fiona. Which, Donkey did warn him that he loved being an ogre. He said he loved Fiona more. Nothing happened, at least at first. But then, in the middle of the rainy night, it was found out that the potion did work after all. Shrek had become as handsome as a prince, and Donkey his noble steed. The potion worked on Fiona too, but Puss points out that to keep the effects of the potion permanent, the user must kiss their love by midnight. I still don't understand why it's always midnight. Hey, I'd take the Fairy Godmother over Rumpelstiltskin any day, though. So, once Shrek gets to the castle, he finds out that it was a trap that Fairy Godmother set up when he tried to find Fiona. And that Charming was posing as Shrek, just so he could get close to her, which makes Shrek very sad. So, at the Poison Apple, they soon overhear that what Fairy Godmother wants Harold to do. Give Fiona the sweetest light's love potion so that she'd love Prince Charming. So, but after considering after finding out what's going on, Fairy Godmother made sure that Shrek and his friends were put in the deepest, darkest cell possible. And Harold does do the potion and the tea, but gives her, you're going to see later. What Fairy Godmother didn't count on was that Shrek's friends found out about his arrest as through a concerned and extremely benevolent third party. So they then break Shrek out of prison, which tested the fellowship of this thing. Soon, with a scene which I'd rather not put that scene in this review since it's a bit too. Some people are sensitive to that. So they break him out and decide that the only way to get there now was to go to the Muffin Man and bake up a giant gingerbread man named Mongo, Gingy's little brother. And they try to put him down into the moat, but once the drawbridge comes down, yep, Mongo does go into the moat. But Shrek and friends make it there. And things got ugly during the final fight, which he tells Charming, "You, back away from my wife." And before that, the Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler, sung by Jen Saunders, was awesome. Nothing short of awesome, I'd say. Then the final fight happens, where they wrestle with her wand, and Charming ends up kissing Fiona, but Harold gave her the wrong tea, and so not the potion. And Fairy Godmother then tries to finish Shrek off by going, "I told you, ogres don't live happily ever after." Harold uses his armor to reflect the blast back to her, and she went, "Well, what do you know? I can be beaten." And it's revealed that he is actually a frog, and what do you know? Shrek and Fiona decided to go with the ugly. Once they turn back, the party happens, and it turns out the dragon had donkey babies during the mid-credits scene. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and keep those suggestions coming. Later.